Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving into one of the biggest questions of our time, climate change. It's not just about melting ice or rising seas. It's about our daily lives, our food, our health, even the future of where we live.
Exactly. And while climate change is a global issue, the Middle East shows us a very sharp picture of what the future might look like. Hotter summers, less water, stronger storms. It's all happening right now.
People often imagine climate change as something far away, like, oh, it's happening in the Arctic or maybe in 100 years, but it's already here. And today, we'll break it down in simple terms, the science, the impact, and what it means for everyday people.
So let's start with the basics. What exactly is climate change? In simple words, it's the long-term change in Earth's temperature and weather patterns.
Right, and the big driver here is greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide. These gases trap heat in the atmosphere. Think of it like a blanket around the Earth.
And that blanket is getting thicker. Since the Industrial Revolution, humans have been burning coal, oil, and gas. That releases huge amounts of CO2. More cars, more factories, more airplanes. It all adds up.
Here's a picture. Imagine you're in a car on a hot day, windows closed. The sun heats the car, but the heat can't escape. That's basically what's happening to Earth right now.
Pretty uncomfortable, right? And it's not just a little warmer. Even a rise of 1.5 degrees Celsius or 2 degrees can completely shift weather systems, oceans, and agriculture.
Exactly. Scientists warn that if we go beyond 2 degrees, the damage becomes almost irreversible. Droughts, floods, wildfires. It's not science fiction, it's science fact.
Let's talk about what this means in real life. First, heat waves. Summers are getting hotter and longer. In many parts of the Middle East, temperatures can reach 50 degrees Celsius. That's dangerous for human survival.
And then you have droughts. Less rain, more dry land, crops fail, farmers struggle, water supplies shrink. Something as basic as a glass of water becomes a challenge.
On the flip side, we also see floods. Warmer air holds more moisture, so when it rains hard. Cities get flooded in just hours.
And don't forget sandstorms. Rising heat dries the soil. The wind picks it up, and suddenly entire cities are covered in dust. Imagine trying to breathe in that. It's not just uncomfortable, it's dangerous.
And all these extreme events are happening more often. Scientists call it climate chaos.
So how does this touch human life? First, migration. When land becomes too dry or flooded, people are forced to leave their homes. Millions could become climate refugees.
And then food. Less rain means less crops. Less crops means higher prices. Imagine going to the market and finding that bread or vegetables cost double.
Water is another big issue. The Middle East already has limited fresh water. Climate change makes it worse. Rivers shrink, groundwater disappears. That creates tension between communities and countries.
And let's not forget health. Heat waves can cause heat stroke, dehydration, even death. Polluted air from dust storms leads to asthma and lung disease. So climate change isn't just an environmental problem. It's a human problem. It's about survival, dignity, and justice.
Now, let's zoom in on the Middle East. Why is this region so vulnerable to climate change?
First, water. The Middle East is already one of the driest regions in the world. Rivers like the Tigris, Euphrates, and Jordan are shrinking. Groundwater is being used faster than it can recharge. Imagine living in a city where water only comes for 2 hours a day, then it's gone. For millions, that's already reality.
And then you have the coasts. Rising sea levels threaten cities like Alexandria, Basra, and Dubai. Even a small rise of half a meter can flood neighborhoods, damage farmland, and push people out of their homes.
Not to mention agriculture. The region depends on imported food because local crops are harder to grow with less rain and higher heat. That means greater vulnerability to global food prices.
It's a domino effect. Less water, weaker crops, more imports, higher costs, pressure on families and governments.
But here's the good news. People in the region aren't just waiting for disaster. They're fighting back with creativity and innovation.
Yes. For example, solar energy projects. The Middle East is one of the sunniest regions on Earth, so why not turn sunlight into power? Countries are building massive solar farms to reduce fossil fuel use.
And there are community-led projects too. In Jordan, farmers are using smart irrigation systems to save water. In Morocco, reforestation projects are bringing life back to dry lands.
Even individuals are making a difference. Young people are starting eco-startups, turning waste into resources, or spreading awareness on social media.
It shows that hope exists. Climate change is huge, but human creativity is powerful.
Global and local solutions. Approximately 15 minutes.
So what solutions are on the table? Globally, we have agreements like the Paris Agreement. Countries promise to cut emissions and invest in renewable energy.
And locally, it's about building resilience, smarter cities, cleaner transport, protecting water, planting trees. Solutions don't have to be massive. Sometimes a small change creates a ripple effect.
And technology plays a big role. Think electric cars, desalination plants for fresh water, AI for managing resources.
But here's the key. It's not just about governments. People matter. Each of us has a role. Saving energy, reducing waste, using public transport, supporting green policies.
So what have we seen today? Climate change is real. It's urgent. And the Middle East shows us how tough the challenge really is.
But it also shows us something else. Resilience. People are finding ways to adapt, survive, and even thrive.
The message is simple. The future is not written yet. We can choose a path of destruction or a path of renewal.
And every action counts. Whether it's a government policy or a single person planting a tree, it all adds up.
So let's imagine a future where the Middle East is not a victim of climate change, but a leader in climate solutions. That's possible.
And with that thought, we wrap up today's episode. Thanks for staying with us through this deep dive. Remember, stay curious, stay aware, and stay hopeful.